Hello and welcome to In My Element. In this video we're going to take a look at the biology topic human skeleton. In this lesson we're going to take a look at the human skeleton and its main functions. Why is it so important to us? Why as humans do we need one? So what are the functions of it? You can see that picture there. Why do we need it in the first place? And if you look really carefully, you can see a faint outline around it, which would be where the skin would be. Okay, now to be clear, you're not expected to know all of the names of bones at all. Okay, but what you are expected to learn are the main functions of the human skeleton. So first one we're going to look at is protection. So the skeleton contains many bones, and the bone is really tough, hard, rigid, and they protect organs. So for example, we'll look at two that are really key. Look at these two sets. If we look at these ribs, okay, they form your chest cavity. So inside there are your lungs and your heart. So they are really key to protecting those two vital organs. And your skull, held in your skull is your brain. So your skull is protecting that. All right. Second function, movement. Now, you can see that you've got joints here, lots of tiny little joints here, bigger ones here, hip joint here, lots of joints through your toes as well and your ankle, okay? Now, muscles and joints are essential for movement, but the muscles must attach to the bones within the skeleton, which is what allows the skeleton to move. Now, the joints allow it to be able to bend. Imagine if you didn't have your elbows, your arms would be permanently straight. You didn't have your joints in your fingers, okay? Your fingers would be permanently straight. So gripping things would be harder. The way our skeleton is made allows a lot of movement. Another function is support. If we didn't have our skeleton, we would not have anything for the tissues to attach to, okay? So the skeleton acts as a frame. It would just be a big pile of jelly-like substance if we didn't have our skeleton frame in there. And then finally, one of the other main functions is the production of blood cells, okay? Within the bones of our skeleton, there is bone marrow, okay? It's found in the centre, and this is where white and red blood cells are produced. And we know both of those play really important roles. Red blood cells in the transport of oxygen around our body, and white blood cells are involved in our immune system. Okay, now it's worth having a look and seeing if you know any names of bones in the skeleton. So you'll know some. Okay, so you'll know the ribs we've mentioned, the skull and the spine. So if we just go back to the original one, here we go, and I can just highlight a couple of others. So we've already said we've got the ribs here. Okay. We've got the humerus here, we've got the radius here, we've got the pelvic hip girdle here, this one is the femur, okay, you've got the tibia here, your kneecap, this disc here is your patella, and this bone here is known as your sternum. Okay, so that gives you a few. All right, you don't have to learn them all. I'm just giving you some that you can identify. Okay, so now what you need to go and do is have a look at the worksheet and answer the questions, making sure you're really clear on the four main functions. So just to run through them again: protection, movement, support, and the production of blood cells. And we talked about red and white blood cells.